Hey everyone, Shannon here from School of Trade. Today we're going to be taking a look at a long trade on the bonds. Now, this is kind of piggybacking off of the news. The one big thing that we're really kind of looking at the moment is the fact that the news came out and it was just flat, right? We had that news at 8:30, the GDP numbers, and it ended on a doji, right? This giant doji that ended up being 25 ticks long, but it went nowhere, right? So we really need to see what the sort of movement after that doji happened, what that is. And in this case, it was met straight with buying pressure, more buying pressure that broke the high of that news candle, and then continuing buying pressure back up again. Now what we're seeing at the moment is the fact that, well, that buying pressure has pulled back slightly, and now we're starting to see it come right back in. So we're looking to hop in long back up to finish off this move. So our stop is going to go below the low here at 17. And it's 3 contracts, and we're looking for the overall target up at 155.04. That's the final target. It's going to be an all-in, all-out move, but this type of scenario makes perfect sense to do something like that. We're really just looking for this news move to complete itself, right? This initial news candle goes up 1-to-1, and that's the area that we're looking for. So 155.04 is that completion. And really, this pullback is exactly what you see on one of those strong type of news reactions, right? You get this big burst higher and then an itty bitty little pullback, right? And that little pullback is just kind of like a flag. If you were to draw up that flag, the thing is we're entering in a little bit early. We're seeing signs of the buyers coming back in. We're getting nice signals to go long. Everything is telling us that, hey, we may be a little bit early. We haven't seen a breakdown of a flag or anything like that, but we're seeing all of the other reasons too. On top of that, getting in here, that means that our risk at 154.23 to 17 is only 6 ticks, right? So big fan of that small stop. And then on top of that, our target from 23 to 04, our target is 13 ticks. Now, if you're unfamiliar with the bonds, it may not seem like a lot, but the big thing to remember here with the bonds is that they tick at $31.25 a tick. Okay, so that's why we're only trading 3 contracts, because it's actually quite a bit. When you're looking at 3 contracts at a 6-tick stop, that's 18 ticks, right? But each one of those ticks is $31.25, so you're risking $560 on a stop that's only 6 ticks wide with only 3 contracts. So you can see how fast this type of market compounds. Now, the nice thing about this is if we get that 13-tick target, now we're talking some serious money because that's 39 ticks at $31.25 a tick. That's $1,200, right? So the overall movement that we're offered here on this getting in early makes complete sense, especially given how much the bonds pay per trade, right? At $31.25 a tick, that's a pretty big chunk of cash if we can get that going back up to the upside. So we've got our stop down, 6-tick stop, very small stop, not really concerned about that in the least. Looking back up to the upside, we're long at 154.23, looking for the push back up to claim 155.04 and finish this news move off. And then from there, the buyers or sellers, they can duke it out. But really, the buyers overall definitely in control, looking for that 04 level. So we'll give this a little bit of time and see if we can get that push higher. All right, we're seeing those buyers press back in. We came 1 tick away from our target, 155.03. We're looking for 04. So because of that, we're going to lock in underneath this candle. I don't want to give any of this back, especially if it doesn't want to continue back up. So even if we do get stopped out, we get out at 28, and that will lock in 5 ticks. So still a nice chunk of change, right? 5 at 3. At $31.25 a tick is still almost $500, so $460 if that stops us out. But looking for that overall move up to 155.04, everything is looking really, really good, especially with all of this support that came in at this level. You can really see those buyers defending this pullback, and they are gunning right back up to complete this move. 155.04 is the objective, and again, we're 1 tick away, so we're just kind of waiting to see that push. We're getting closer, and the bonds, if you're not familiar with trading the bonds, there's one thing to keep in mind is that the bonds are a slower market, right? They definitely take their time going anywhere. It's not as bad as something like the notes where they're really slow, but the bonds are kind of in the middle. They're much closer to something like the S&P 500 in the way that they move. It's a little bit slower, a little bit more methodical, and you just got to kind of give it the time it needs. Now, we are seeing the shift up. We haven't gotten the test yet at 155.04, but we're seeing them shift, which is a good thing. We're definitely looking for that push up. We just need to give it a little bit more time. We're 1 tick away. Our stop is locked in a profitable position. Even if it comes back on us, guess what? We still make $500. I don't know about a better situation than that. There we go. We got our target filled, 155.04. Beautiful move to the upside. Let's cancel that stop. And this is exactly what we were looking for in the bonds. They wanted to finish off that news move, and that's exactly what happened. They had that nice little pullback ahead of it, and they get that final push up to finish off that move at 155.04. Now, there's a good chance that they're going to fight around this level, right? It wouldn't be a surprise. Yeah, we got, right to the level so far, but there's a good chance that it breaks above it, kind of flirts around with this area. The decision point is what it does off of this. Once this news is complete, does it pull all the way back down? Does it go and continue back higher, right? That's the kind of thing that's sort of left on the table at this point. Now, this is a really big chunk of resistance at 155.04, so it wouldn't be a surprise at all to see some selling opportunities come off and ride this back to probably this last swing, maybe a little bit lower. Given the movement so far, I doubt that we're going to come all the way back down here to where that news move bottomed out, but it is possible, right? It's definitely possible. So looking more so for selling opportunities off this level, and then to ride the price right back down to around 154.12, all the way up to around 154.20s or so, that whole area. But that's going to be the trade for us. We're done. Beautiful move to the upside. Can't ask for much more than that. 39 ticks on the trade with only 3 contracts, and because it pays so well, $1,218.75 on the trade. So beautiful move up, and that's the power of the bonds. That's why a lot of people love them, but you do have to have an account size able to trade that size. Remember, that's over 3 times the tick value of something like crude oil. So you got to be a little bit more conservative on this type of market, but when you get those winners, they really pay well. So that's going to be the trade. 39 ticks, $1,200. If you have any questions about it, feel free to send an email to School of Trade. Don't forget to check out our trial at schooloftrade.com, and as always, we'll catch you next time.